Hello guys. We're gonna get right into this video today. There's a little bit of drizzle going on, but hopefully it's not too bothersome for you guys. Alright, so here's the deal. I've gotten numerous messages from a handful of you guys, and I think the reason that I get messages when stuff like this happens is because A, I have covered Without a Crystal Ball in the past a fair amount. There was a period of time where I was covering her a little bit more often than I do now. But I'm familiar with a lot of her shenanigans, and I'm also familiar with many of the anti-Katie Joy community. So I feel like that's why I get asked about stuff like this. I could be wrong, but let me know. And not to toot my own horn here, but I also feel like I have always been very fair when discussing topics surrounding Katie and the anti-KJ community. Now, before I get into a lot of the details regarding this situation, I want to put a couple of disclaimers out there. One is, I am not a historian when it comes to this scenario. I have seen a fair amount in order to gather what is my understanding and my viewpoint on this whole situation. The second disclaimer is that I have always made it a point to voice the fact that I do not consider myself to be a part of the anti-KJ community, because the key players in the anti-KJ community focus a lot on her daily happenings. What's Katie doing on Instagram? What's she doing on Twitter? What did she say in this live stream at this timestamp? Like, I'm not invested in all of her nonsense. I have other things that I would rather spend my time doing, and most of you guys understand that. Now, do I look into it if I'm asked about it? Yes. Do I film a reaction once in a while if I'm asked to? Yes. But as far as just keeping an eye on her, that's not something that I want to spend my time doing. If that's something that you do, that's okay. I am not here to, say that that's the worst thing ever. Do I think that there are better things to spend your hours doing? Absolutely. But if that's something that you find entertainment in, by all means, fine. As long as it's not negatively affecting your mental health or your job or your relationships or any friendships or anything like that, then, we can all make our own decisions. So those are a couple disclaimers. If you're coming to this video and expecting a super detailed timeline and explaining every single person who plays a part in this situation, the full rundown, that's not this video. I am just going to give you guys what I know about, how I feel about it, and that's it. So I hope that that's helpful for you guys. If it is, cool. If it's not, that's cool too. There are many other people who have talked about this and have many, many more intricate details, screenshots, screen recordings. In my personal opinion, I don't really trust screenshots 100% of the time, depending on who is providing them. Because as we all know, screenshots can be easily manipulated, but I think you also have to look at who is providing them. Do they have a track record of causing mess, or is it someone who has never been involved in anything, and or someone who is very trustworthy and you feel like you can believe what they are presenting? That's a personal choice, but so that's kind of the whole thing. Now, we're going to be talking about Charlotte today. Charlotte is someone who I've never really talked about directly on my channel. I'm familiar with who she is in terms of YouTube. I do not watch a lot of her content because, like I said earlier, she focuses a lot on KJ, and that's just not content that I am entertained by. You know, last year that I watched a little bit more of reaction channels and commentary channels talk about Katie, I did, but I got very tired of it very quickly, and especially once I started to feel like the anti-KJ community became very much of a clique. I don't do cliques at all. I don't like the feeling of, oh, I'm not part of the clique, so I might not have a voice here, or I might not be noticed. So it just wasn't my thing. I have always also made it very clear that I didn't want to be considered a part of the anti-KJ community, because early on I saw a fair amount of toxicity. I saw a fair amount of something that I didn't want my channel to be associated with, and that's not saying that every single person in the anti-KJ community is bad, because they're not. A lot of people in that community are just former subscribers of Katie who feel like they want to have a voice and they want to be heard, so they discovered the anti-KJ community, and that's where they have found their place. So I'm not saying that they're all bad. There was a fair share of toxicity, and it was just something that I didn't want my channel to be associated with. I didn't want my name to be seen in all of these live streams consistently, because you can get unfairly associated with other YouTubers if you are consistently seen in all of these live streams. You're constantly leaving comments, you're constantly attending live streams, you're sending super chats, you're members on these people's channel but not these people. So you can become sometimes unfairly associated with other YouTubers. I have seen that in other communities on YouTube as well, and it's not always fair, but guess what? Life isn't fair. So the way that I've always gone about it is that if I don't want to be associated with a community or a YouTuber, I'm going to do my best to steer clear and let it be known that I'm over here doing my own thing. If y'all want to unfairly tie me in with this group of people, then that's on you, because I've done my best to stay over here in my own lane. And I'm sorry if I'm really just like chatty today, but I just want this to be a steady stream of thoughts, just like if I was talking to you guys and you were in my car. That's what we're doing today. So that's kind of the whole deal with the idea of this anti-KJ clique. I didn't like it. I decided I was going to stay in my own lane. And that's also not saying that I don't like some of the people in the anti-KJ community, but at this point I do think that a large majority of them have become way over invested in Katie and what she's doing. And at a certain point, it just becomes unhealthy. I know I said to you guys in a video recently, I had something happen recently. It really just reminded me of how life is so short. And as silly as it is, that's why I went and got all these piercings that I had been putting off because of the panini. It was something that I wanted to do for myself, and with that reminder of how short life is, just go out and do it. Go out and do that thing that you've been putting off for a while, within reason. Obviously I want to buy a house in the backyard for Axel, but that's not in the cards right now. So that's why I say within reason. It's been such a vivid reminder for me that what we spend our life doing has so much purpose. And if you feel like, I don't know, maybe this is just a personal decision and my personal opinion, and anything I say in this video, please don't take it personally if this is something that you do and you enjoy doing. For me, sitting on a 3 or 4 or 5 hour live stream and listening to someone pick apart every single thing that someone is doing, whether or not that person is toxic, I don't have 3 or 4 hours out of my day to commit to listening to someone pick and pick and pick and pick. That's just not something I want to spend my life doing. Life is too short. So my relationship with Charlotte is that I knew who she was from early on, and I never really had any direct communication with her. I think early on when I was covering Katie, she might have left me a couple comments. I think I went to a couple of her early live streams, like last summer into fall. But at the same time, I like a structured video. That is also the reason why I decided to stop doing lives, because I like to deliver content in a more concise manner. I don't want my subscribers to have to sit on an hour and 40-minute live stream or a 2.5 hour live stream to get 20 minutes of information that they're seeking. So I hope that makes sense. So I didn't really have any dealings with her. I definitely knew who she was. She talked about Katie a lot. And something that I noticed, I do not subscribe to her, but something that I did notice over time is that it definitely felt as if she got to a point where she was not able to take criticism. And when you're on YouTube, it is so important, and it is such a good trait to have. If you're dishing out criticism on YouTubers, whether you focus on one more than the other, or you're focusing on 10 or 20 or 35, if you're dishing out criticism and you're telling someone else what they did wrong, why are you doing this, why'd you do that, if you're dishing that out, when your community comes back to you and says, hey, why'd you do this, this, and this, that can't just fall on deaf ears, because then your subscribers will feel like they don't have a voice. Or if you are listening to people that are members of your channel instead of people that are subscribers, then that also causes a problem, because you're making it a culture where people have to pay to have an opinion. And that is one of the most frustrating things. I just talked about this in the why I don't have channel memberships on my channel video. I just did that last week. I don't ever want people to feel like they have to pay a fee to have a voice on my channel or to gain my attention. To me, that is morally wrong. And I don't ever want anyone to feel that way. You leave a comment, I'm going to see it. You leave a like, I'm going to see it. I don't need your super chats or your memberships fee every month in order to have a voice on my channel. Again, that's just me and my decision-making skills for my channel, point blank. I did get to a point where it seemed like it was turning into one of those situations where criticism was being labeled as haters or negativity, and if you are unable to take criticism from the people that are supporting your channel, that is one of the top ways to literally shoot yourself in the foot when it comes to building a platform. Point blank, period. You have to be able to take criticism. And I understand that sometimes criticism is not going to be delivered to you in a pretty bow with a, or a pretty package with a pink bow on it and glitters and unicorns and all this kind of stuff. Sometimes criticism is laced with words that might not be so nice to read, and I totally understand that. But you still have to be able to address it head on. I've had to do that myself, and am I saying that I've always done every single thing right at the right time, at the right day? No, absolutely not. But I do my best to listen to valid criticism and take it into consideration in the future. That's just me. One of the words that has been used over and over by Charlotte that I've heard is bashing. She's being bashed. People are bashing her. I'm not sure that everyone needs this reminder, but criticism is not bashing. And critical comments are not coming from haters. Actually, if people are giving you criticism, chances are they care about you and your channel growth. Because if people were just unsubscribing and not giving any criticism during that time leading up to them leaving your channel, then that would probably be someone that doesn't really care. And I would rather receive a small piece of criticism from someone before they unsubscribe, so that in the future, if they come back and check on my channel, they might be willing to resubscribe because I have changed my format, or I've changed my delivery, my content, or whatever the problem was. They can come back and actually see that I listened to the criticism that they delivered on their way out. So just a reminder, criticism is not bashing, and I'm so tired of YouTubers saying that people are bashing them when all that it is people giving criticism, expecting accountability, and they're being labeled as just hateful people that have nothing better to do with their time. I think a lot about the anti-KJ community and how it has literally imploded on itself as of lately. And then I remind myself that this is a community that was built off of hatred for one person. And I don't want to hear about this, oh, well, I'm just giving criticism. A lot of the content that has evolved within giving Katie criticism has gone way off the rails. It's gone way out of line. It's talking about stuff that shouldn't really ever be up for commentary, at least in my unpopular opinion. When you think about that, and then you think about the community imploding on itself, is anyone really that surprised? I'm not. And it's just funny, the people who deliver the most content directed at specific YouTubers, when something comes back on them and all that people are asking for is for accountability, they are unable to just take the accountability and move on. Oh, stop all this, make it stop. It would stop if you could just take accountability, but instead there are apologies being delivered laced with the word but and I'm sorry, but I did that because I was hurt. I'm sorry, but I did that because I was being ganged up on. Like, the word but is very easy to use. In the language day to day, in the English language, when you're talking to people, most people do use the word but quite often. However, when you are delivering an apology to your community, your subscribers, your people, your members, when you're delivering an apology, if you are so concerned that you're going to say the word but, write out that apology ahead of time so that you can keep it on track, on course, deliver it, and be done. Apologize for the role that you played in all of this. Apologize for the things that you did wrong. Don't shift blame, and do not sit there and act like all of a sudden now you're the victim. The sad fishing stuff has got to go. Like, I don't know. I'm all for people sharing their emotions online, and I realize that being a YouTuber can be very hard, especially when you have shit slung onto you that you might not deserve. I fully understand that. However, based on what I've seen, specifically with this Charlotte situation, the criticism that she has received has been valid, and it's been from people who have supported her for a long time and actually care about her growth on this platform. And it is frustrating to see that completely ignored. Let's also talk real quick about DMs. I think the topic of DMs is very interesting because it seems like people that want to talk in DMs, they swear that who they're talking to, that person would never leak their DMs or show their DMs. And, you know, I always, and I will tell you guys right now, if I have said something negative about someone in a DM, it's because I don't work with them. And it's because I would say something negative to them on my channel. But the people that I don't like, I don't give free advertising to. But as far as these YouTuber, friends forming alliances and then talking about each other in DMs, I just think that it is so ridiculous. This is why people compare parts of YouTube to high school. Because it really is. It is petty nonsense, drama, mean girl bullying BS. So the whole thing is just, if you're gonna say something bad about someone in DMs, make sure that it is someone that you publicly have advertised that you do not like and you do not respect. Because then, if the snake on the other side of the screen decides to leak those messages, it won't be a surprise. Stop befriending people and talking shit about them in DMs. How about that? People will leak your info. They will leak whatever you tell them. There is no loyalty on YouTube. It is near impossible to find loyalty on YouTube. I am very cordial with a handful of people. I respect a handful of people. But as far as actually calling people my friends, I don't know. Maybe I take the word friend very seriously. I don't know. I think that you can have a lot of respect, care, and admiration for people that you meet online. But I do think that the word friend is tossed around a lot. And usually the people that say that they're best friends are just part of the pit of vipers. And it's only a matter of time until they turn on one another. We've seen this go down time and time again. It is predictable. And I always say, you know, the best thing that you can do as a YouTuber is be cordial with other people, be nice. But as far as forming these overzealous public best friends and bonfires and braiding each other's hair and stuff, usually never works out the way that you think it's going to. I do think that there are some people that are very good at manipulating their audience. It's just what it is. I know that that word is used a lot on YouTube: manipulation, narratives, gaslighting. There are some words that are overused, but most people can see when someone is manipulating their audience. And instead of coming with the, you know, sad fishing and this kind of stuff, apologize, own your role, you know, admit to what you did, apologize, and don't lace it with buts and ifs and my feelings were hurt and so did something to me. Just own it and stop being so sketchy offline, because everything done in the dark will come to light, guaranteed. But anyway, let me know, what do you think down below? What do you think about the anti-KJ community imploding all over itself? Predictable? Not predictable? Are you surprised? Are you entertained? Are you tired? Are you sick and tired of it all? You know, I don't know. If any new YouTuber happens to be watching this video, and I was going to give one piece of advice, unsolicited advice, of course, it would be that you are much better off to just stay in your own lane, be cordial, be professional, you know, give respect to those who deserve it. You will be much better off in the long run if you just stay in your lane, you know. Don't set yourself up to be unfairly aligned with YouTubers that you might not want to be aligned with. It's much harder to do that if you are not constantly seen in chats, sending YouTubers super chats, being members, being up in Discords, DMing with people. You know, it's much easier to say, well, I never really see her in that person's stream, or I've never seen her super chat that person. It's just easier to stay in your own lane if you are literally staying in your own lane. So I've had enough of blabbering today, and no, you guys, this isn't me being on my high horse and all of this kind of stuff, but several of you have asked me, you know, my opinions on all of this, so I figured I would just make it one video. You know, I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm completely neutral. None of them care about me, and I don't really care about any of the anti-KJ community, if I'm being really honest. You know, I'm just over here doing my thing. So either way, for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.